Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. A lot of news today, but we're doing this special show right here in the middle of the capital of the United States, someplace like that. Anyway, we've got a bunch of news to talk about. First up, I briefly want to tackle President Biden's budget, which is a totally unserious, massive tax and spend big government approach. That's all it is. It looks like it was written by Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. And the best we can determine, and I don't know the whole lot of it, there's an incredible $5 trillion tax hike, which itself is going to decimate the economy, place enormous tax penalties on producers and investors and the whole workforce, really. Even by Bidenomics standards, this is an unbelievable wish list. Now, I know it's dead on arrival, but nonetheless, a lot of people are going to read this and ponder its potential impact, maybe on the debt negotiations or maybe the 2024 presidential race, who knows. As I've said many times, the radical left Democrats want to punish success. They are the anti-free market capitalists of our time. I worked for two presidents, Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. They believed in rewarding success by reducing marginal tax rates across the board. The Bidens have no interest in economic growth. They're driven by their radical ideologies towards a redistributionist vision of a declining American economy. And by the way, there are massive spending increases throughout this budget on social welfare benefits without work requirements that make a mockery out of the idea of deficit reduction. In fact, spending under the Biden budget will remain around 25% of GDP. The 50-year historical baseline, 20 to 21%. So this is big government socialism. And that spending is going to make it even harder for the Federal Reserve to bring down inflation. Now, a brief list of the tax hikes. Oh my gosh, 25% tax on people with $100 million or more in assets, going from 21 to 28% on the corporate tax, raising the top individual tax, doubling the capital gains tax, a wealth tax on unrealized capital gains, Medicare tax hikes, small business tax hikes, a huge increase in the taxes of overseas U.S. corporations if they would repatriate, taxes on oil companies, real estate, private equity, cryptocurrencies, and all this comes on top of $150 billion some odd in business tax hikes already legislated. The combination of this Biden tax and spend approach paints a picture of a stagnant economy, low growth, high inflation. That's as far as the eye can see. I just call it economic decline. We're going to be talking much more about this budget disaster later in the show, but there's more news this evening, and it's much better. And I mean much better. The House Republicans, under Speaker Kevin McCarthy, are coming to the rescue of the economy with a new piece of legislation that I'm going to let Speaker McCarthy, who is right here beside me, describe in much more detail. But for right now, how many times have you heard me in recent months talk about a possible HR1 permitting bill that would unlock the oil and gas spigots, return America to energy independence? All right, folks, hold your breath. Please take a listen to some of this. Hopefully, the next step will be a broad-based HR1 permitting bill that'll reopen fracking and pipelining and refining and LNG terminals and all the rest. An HR1 and an S1, House-Senate bill, that will take the handcuffs off of oil and gas production. How about HR1? Take the handcuffs off oil and gas production. Now, this is a Kudlow makeup thing. I've been pushing this HR1, S1. I know I'm ahead of the curve. I'm hoping it's HR1. So I make my perennial plea to you. Are we going to have HR1 in the House? Are we going to have a bill that'll open up the spigots again?
Hey, you and I are on the same page on that. We haven't made that decision yet.
That's right. HR1 and S1 could become a reality.
That is true. Our HR1 is going to be about making America energy independent.
Kevin McCarthy, you get me every time on that HR1. I love that, opening up the spigots. You toss
Did it bring a little tear to your eye?
It does. It just gives me a chill down my spine. All right. There you have it. Sometimes repetition is important. Passage of this new legislation could bring us back to the production of, say, 14 or 15 million barrels a day unlocking clean-burning natural gas, boosting LNG exports, expanding refineries and pipelines, cutting through the regulatory maze that the Biden's radical climate change policies have constructed. You could be thinking about oil prices closer to $40 rather than $80 or $100. Gasoline prices would come well back under $2. Working folks throughout the economy would be able to afford electricity bills, utility bills, grocery bills. Refined petroleum products permeate every nook and cranny of the American economy. This is so important. Unlocking the spigots would unleash affordable energy, and that also includes renewable energy. Fossil fuels, listen to this, fossil fuels impact phones, clothing, toothpaste, laptops, diapers, toys, hospital operating rooms, life-saving medical products, hearing aids, glasses, soaps, aspirin, and I've just started. The list is virtually endless, almost more than anything I can think of. A major league permitting bill that will unlock the fossil fuel spigots would do more to lower inflation and rejuvenate economic growth than almost anything I can think of. And when you put that together with limited spending, with permanent tax cuts, and a rollback of Biden's new regulations, we could get this economy moving and bring back the kind of prosperity that Americans really want. All right?